welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
We're just a giddy couple in love that loves reacting to some Genshin Impact.
Yeah, we're giddy for Genshin.
Yeah, so this Genshin Impact we're checking out today is Venti's story quest. So we checked out one of the Archon stories that was Zhongli, and now we're going back, check out Venti's one.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing.
And because it's Genshin Impact.
We have a drink. This is Klee's Sparkling Balm.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So if you want early ad-free access to our Genshin Impact journey and get weekly videos, then check out Patreon, also the YouTube membership. We're gonna do this one. This was 2 parts, so if you watch this on YouTube, you're just gonna see it all in one full video.
With some costume changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look over there! She's all by herself, right? Because she's acting as if she's talking and laughing with somebody else. Paimon's creeped out.
I understand, Paimon.
What? You mean you used to act like that too?
Only child.
So is this an invisible friend who hangs out with you sometimes? Or do they just exist in your imagination?
Imaginary means in your imagination, yeah. It doesn't matter what you pick.
Imaginary.
Because it kind of said the same thing.
Imagination. Oh, you must mean imagined friend, right? Why didn't you just say so?
Huh?
So, this imaginary friend. When does Paimon get to meet them?
Yeah, don't hang out anymore.
Seriously? So, imaginary friends just disappear when you grow up?
Yeah.
Oh, Paimon was looking forward to meeting yours.
Aw.
Hey, don't suppose your sister has an imaginary friend too? No way! You guys are so lucky! Because they have this game in Liyue. Have you heard of it? It's a 4-player game, but it seems you guys could play it with just the 2 of you.
Oh, Traveler. Fancy meeting you here.
Tone deaf bard. What are you doing
I forgot
here?
the sass that Paimon gives him.
I'm here because Lisa has been making some exciting new contraptions.
Why does the thought of Lisa's contraptions make Paimon so nervous?
Come now, that's no way to speak about the elegant Miss Lisa. For this particular contraption, Lisa had to import some dangerous materials from Sumeru.
Dangerous?
That's right. Looks like a monocle, but actually it's called a Nernama detector.
Nernama detector? What the hell's a
Sadly,
Nernama?
Lisa isn't able to use it herself, so I'm borrowing it for a while. And also, I'm testing it out for her, to see if it actually works.
Huh? Why can't Lisa use it?
Perhaps it's because she lacks a certain childlike sense of wonder. Or maybe there's some other reason for it. If you want to know for sure, just ask her yourself sometime.
So you can see them? Go on, tell us. What does his imaginary friend look like?
That would be telling. Anyway, it's all yours now, Traveler. Take a look, see if you can see Nora's imaginary friend.
Oh, wow.
Do you see him? Do you see him?
People like to jump a lot.
Huh, so it does work for you two.
Paimon wants to see? Wait, but this gizmo isn't in Paimon's.
No, they don't make a miniature
Alright
version.
then, you'll just have to be Paimon's eyes on the ground. Let's go see what everyone's imaginary friends look like.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Flora from the flower shop always seems kinda floaty-headed, you know? Paimon bets she has an imaginary friend.
Gonna get there eventually.
Might not be the fastest, but it does look like a really fun way to get around.
Yep.
There it is! Behold, a floaty imaginary friend for floaty-headed Flora. A bloaty floaty.
Floaty floaty?
Wait, imaginary friends can be plants now?
Be whatever you want them to be.
Hi, Traveler. Hi, Bard. Sure, how can I help?
Who's your friend?
Oh, you mean Mr. Floaty? Most people can't see him. Mr. Floaty is my bestest friend. We grew up together.
No fair. Paimon hates feeling left out.
Flora, why exactly are you friends with a bloaty floaty?
What's
a ridiculous
wrong with
name.
it? I always wanted to be friends with a plant who could fly.
Friends with a flying plant? Why?
So then she could float away with the plant.
Because then when it's windy, you and your friend can fly off into the sky together. You gotta admit that's pretty cool.
I mean, she can fly regularly.
Called being blown away?
That's what some people like to call it. I only found out this plant existed from an explorer who told me stories of his adventures. I think his name was Stanley. Stanley's an adventurer. And you could tell he's an expert at it from the stories he tells. The amazing adventures of Stanley are super famous in Mondstadt. He's in the city at the moment. You should go ask him to tell you some of his stories.
That sounds like a fun idea for next time. But right now we have other things to attend to.
Flora's a pretty mysterious kid.
Which child shall we interrogate next?
When you put it like that, it sounds wrong. Child should we interrogate next?
Oh, how about that little guy on the bridge?
Yeah, interrogate him. Who's your little imaginary friend? Oh my
Ooh,
god.
not so little.
Yeah.
No way!
Well, that is unexpected.
Timmy's imaginary friend is a ruins guard?
I've heard of guardian angels
I'm
will come.
freaking out right now.
But like-
That thing is sure to attack us.
What say you we postpone our conversation with Timmy for the time being?
Huh? Paimon has a favorite line?
The one about exploring the area ahead of us later?
Seriously? Oh, alright then. How about we explore the area ahead of us later?
So I guess she says that a lot in the game?
Children
I don't know,
are
the
more
way that
open-minded.
She was led to say it made me think she doesn't
Is that
really
why
ever
they
say it.
think there's all kinds of imaginary friends?
Maybe it's like, it's just, they're supposed to be funny. It's like
Fitting,
that's a
isn't
part of the game
it?
where
The city of freedom
like, you
should
can't
be home to children
go in a
with
certain
such
area until
boundless
you
powers of
are a
imagination.
certain level or something, or...
What
could be.
about adults' imaginations? Let's ask some adults at the tavern.
Yeah, drunk adults are always seeing things. Be a lot of pink
I
elephants
thought
there.
there was high adults, not drunk adults.
The thing about wine is, you have to drink it at the tavern, or you miss out on half the fun.
Seems to me you'd find some way of keeping yourself amused even if you drank alone.
If I didn't know any better, I would say you're being deliberately uncivil.
And what are you gonna do about it? DeLuca wipe the floor with you.
Just drink responsibly on my premises, okay?
Oh, and if I did have one too many, what then? You'd throw me out along with the trash, is that it?
If he has to.
Yep, that's it.
Throw you out?
You know, the same way you threw out Father's legacy.
Oh.
You sold off his mansion.
Damn.
Or maybe you've forgotten.
Well, that became personal real
I
quick.
see no reason to cling to things that have outlived their purpose.
Is that so? Then I trust you were most swift indeed to part with a certain vase?
Sorry, I have no recollection.
That's odd. Because Master Diluc definitely has a vase at home. A beautiful one. Unmistakable, in fact.
Why are you spilling secrets, dude?
Seems our suspicions were right. Grown-ups don't appear to have imaginary friends.
Or maybe they should.
Like I said, a lack of childlike wonder.
So people just stop dreaming when they grow up? Okay, well, Paimon for one never wants to grow up.
And we hope you don't, Paimon.
Yep.
This raises an interesting question. At what age exactly do people's imaginary friends disappear?
Why, different for different people. Grow up,
Exactly.
yeah.
Let's go and check. How about Ellen? Someone of her age surely must have some imagination left, don't you think?
Uh-oh. Somehow Paimon finds the idea of not being able to see Ellen's imaginary friend kinda scary. Race you!
It looks like Spider-Man. Cling to that wall.
Yeah.
Brace yourself.
Okay, still has an imaginary friend.
Jean? What is Jean doing here? Is Master Jean Ellen's imaginary friend?
Huh.
Yeah, she's so conscientious. It's terrifying.
Oh, hello. What are you guys doing?
Are you always training here?
You bet. Today, I heard Stanley talking about his adventures. It was incredible. It got me really pumped up. Oh, I hope I can be as outstanding as him one day.
You train to stop talking to your imaginary friend.
Shoulder to shoulder with Master Jean?
I mean, obviously, I want to become a knight. And if I got to go on an adventure with Jean herself, well, even better.
Seems Ellen really looks up to Jean.
Oh, I believe you'll succeed.
Thanks! I was thinking, it's not every day I get to hang out with the honorary knight. Would you join me for some sword training? Huh. How can I smash all these training dummies at once?
With magic. Or a team.
I'll get them all down to just a sliver of health.
Think you can get away? Let's play!
So that's how to do it. I'm impressed. Oh, thank you. It's clear I still have a long way to go in my training.
So modest. I, for one, think you're quite the pro at this already.
Well, I'm exhausted from training, so
You didn't train that, you
clearly
just
my
watched us do
fitness
stuff.
needs some work. One day, though, I'll smash all the training dummies in Mondstadt.
But then how will everyone else train?
Ellen, she's our girl. If she can't do it, Hilly Churl.
What?
It rhymes.
It
Thanks.
does, but
Shoot, I got so caught up here I forgot there's something I was supposed to do today. Ugh, but I'm so sore from training. I can hardly move.
Senzu Bean.
Honorary Knight, could you deliver a message to Jack for me?
Jack and the Beanstalk?
He's gone adventuring at the Temple of the Lion with Stanley today. Stanley's a truly legendary adventurer, renowned in all of Mondstadt. He once set foot in the Mare Javari.
No
We're gonna
way.
meet up tonight and discuss adventure plans. Could you let him know it'll have to be another day? Great!
Fine.
Thank you so much.
The Temple of the Lion? We explored this place once before, didn't we? During the Storm Terror incident. Seems like it's now a hot spot for adventurers. That can only mean one thing.
Treasure.
Looks like we can't go any further. We didn't bag all the loot last time.
Not to worry. Allow me. Those who wander in the dust, the wind shall send soaring sky high.
Hey, are those guys?
Get them! You're toast! By royal Race you!
Take your time. Catch your breath.
So sure I was about to die.
I think they're dressed as like Christmas elves.
To be fair, that could have
Red,
gone
green, and
either
white.
way.
Yeah.
So, you must be Jack the Adventurer, I assume?
Yes. Who are you?
You're God.
Actually, we came looking for you.
And your imaginary friend.
Ellen has
Where
a
is he?
message for you. She said she won't be able to join you today to plan out your next adventure together. She'll join you some other time.
Oh, I see. I feel bad you had to come all this way to find me, and then had to rescue me.
Huh? I don't see what all the fuss is about. It was nothing that I, Stanley, couldn't have dealt with by myself.
Of course.
Oh,
Of course.
seriously?
Oh, you are Stanley? You were that legendary adventurer? Renowned in all of Mondstadt? Who once set
Getting
foot in
strong
the
Gilderoy
marriage of
Lockhart
Ari?
vibes.
Yep.
The very same.
It is
I
about
must
made up
say,
voice.
It's an honor to meet one as legendary as yourself. Well then, how would everyone like to proceed? Head back or head further inside?
Further inside.
Ask Jack. Ask Jack.
Yeah.
Aw.
In the safe hands of Stanley, the great explorer and legend of Mondstadt.
In which case, why head back now?
Okay, motion passed by unanimous consent. Let's head further in.
I feel like Jack's like, screw this.
So, I'm guessing you mostly came here because you want to hear my adventure stories. Am I right?
Yeah, it's all about you, dude.
We really were just looking for Jack.
What? Do you know who I am? I am Stanley, renowned adventurer of Mondstadt.
Yeah, we know, dude. We get
Yeah,
it.
I think we got that.
Yeah.
Well, your attitude says maybe you don't got that. I am Stanley, the living legend. Stanley who braved the Magivari.
Enough already. Ugh, stop name dropping yourself every time you open your mouth.
Yeah,
Good job,
Paimon.
Paimon.
It's true, though. Stanley is the most amazing guy.
Yeah, just ask him.
Yep.
Well, Jack,
Stanley stands.
won't you? Where was I?
You and your partner reached the Merjavari, a famously terrifying place with not a wisp of wind.
Famously terrifying, but do we know what's
There
actually
was
terrifying?
a deathly silence in the air. A sea of ashes stretched out before us, as far as the eye could see. The Magivari. Suddenly, my partner was caught in a whirlpool whipped up by an evil beast. Luckily, I managed to grab hold of him just in time.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly how it happened.
So, did he make it?
Of course, it saved his life. Oh.
Sadly, in the end, I alone was able to set foot on home ground once more.
Oh, so how convenient he's not here to vouch for
Yeah.
Taking away the tears welling up in my eyes.
you. Mm-hmm.
That poor guy. How could that happen?
Jack,
Anything can happen when you make
can't
up the story.
cry so easily if you want to be a great adventurer.
I know. Because an adventurer's proudest achievement
is to die in the course of their final adventure.
What?
Dark?
Yeah,
But
it's dumb.
whatever happens, no adventurer should ever die in a place where the wind doesn't blow. The wind has to bring your spirit back to Mondstadt.
That's right. To die in a place where the wind blows and to have your spirit carried back to Mondstadt on the wind, that's the dream.
You have better dreams.
Although, the most I can aspire to right now is beginner's commissions, like clearing out the slimes clogging up the sewers.
Everybody's got to start
You
somewhere.
shouldn't die in a place with no wind. Why do they keep going on about that? Is that why Stanley thinks the Mare Javari is the most terrifying place in the world? Because there's no wind there?
It's weird to say, like, death is your dream. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
There are ways that I would prefer to die over others, but I
Gliding
don't start
faster.
dreaming of death.
Yeah. Won't say it's a
Nice and
great life if I can, I don't know, die in my sleep.
Man, that's a dream.
Yeah.
Just to put my head down one night and never wake back up. That's the achievement of a lifetime.
That's the moment I'll know that I've made it. Oz. I think that's the bird's name.
Okay. That sounds right.
Traveler, I
There's a
believe
Z
I
in
made a
it.
small discovery. Could I ask you to use the Nernama detector once more?
Stanley is... Oh, no. Okay, that guy has a scar.
Yeah.
A younger
What?
Stanley, maybe?
Stanley has an imaginary friend?
Stanley
It
is the
seems his
imaginary friend.
friend is a seasoned warrior, covered in scars from head to foot, and a look of staunch determination on his face. Oh, you thought so too, huh?
Yeah, there's nothing weird about that story. It's a bunch of
I
BS.
agree. He wasn't telling the whole story.
So his imaginary friend was the
Please
person that died?
excuse me. I'll be leaving now.
I guess. It's not an imaginary friend, it's a ghost that haunts him.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Stanley. Do you two still have time to spare?
No.
What is it?
A few days ago, Stanley got drunk and told me a secret. Something he's never told anyone before. The weapons he took on his adventure all those years ago, they were none other than those once wielded by Mondstadt's greatest hero, Vanessa herself. The Sword of Brilliant Valor and the Shield of Magnificent Honor. I don't know whether you believe me, but apparently, both the sword and shield are still right here in Mondstadt, over in Dadaupa Gorge. Since you guys are the experts at this, can you come with me to try and retrieve these two legendary weapons?
What are you gonna do when you get them?
I don't know. Outstanding individuals always come with their quirks, right? If I can just get a hold of something impressive enough to show my family what I'm capable of,
Yeah.
maybe they'll finally come around to the idea of me being an adventurer.
Or maybe you shouldn't be an adventurer, dude. Maybe that's just not your thing.
Right now, I'm
Jump
just a
skills.
rookie. My abilities are limited, and my parents don't support my goals one bit.
Yeah, parents suck sometimes.
So, what do you say? Help a guy out? I can't bring myself to tell Stanley about it because my reasons are so selfish. But I swear I'll give the weapons back to him as soon as I'm done.
Aw, poor Jack. Let's help him out. Venti, you coming too?
Of course, this is my quest.
I don't know.
Oh, one other thing. I have a bottle of rare vintage wine that I had someone fetch for me a couple years ago. Help me find these weapons, and it's all yours.
Sold. Venti loves wine. He's a wino.
Dadaupa Gorge, was it? Let's hurry. There's no time to lose.
Ooh. Just listening the whole time. Stanley. So you think that it's the ghost of the friend, right?
I mean, that would be my
We're on
guess.
the same page there.
Because they said he's a warrior with scars from head to toe. My
Mhm.
other thought was gonna be like maybe it was like a younger version of Stanley, but the scar is too massive on his cheek, and Stanley doesn't have the scar that matches. So like,
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, it can't be him. Could have been a sibling, if not the friend. But that like those would be my predictions.
That's all I got right now is probably the friend. Or his imaginary friend took over his body. He like, talked himself up so much. And then when the time came for actual adventure, he like, I don't know, his other self took over. It's like having like, I don't know, having multiple personality disorder or something.
Oh.
And so there was so much intense trauma that his other self had to take over.
So then his imaginary friend is the other self, the self that protects him.
Yep, that protects Stanley.
Okay.
So I'm going with it. I want to see Paimon rip on Venti a little bit more. I liked it in the beginning. I like that we got that, but I want to see a little bit more of that.
I want to see Paimon rip on Stanley a bit more. Stanley is so full of himself and like such a fragile ego because he needs to be hero worshipped all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Paimon is so good at knocking people down a couple notches.
Mm-hmm.
She certainly did it with Venti to the point that I felt a little bad for Venti. I would love to see her try to get me to feel bad for Stanley.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
All right, so if you're watching with us on Patreon, then we're going to continue this next week. And if you're watching with us on YouTube, then we're just going to go right into the next part.
Yeah.
Hey, that bunch of trolls. Are they having some kind of ceremony?
Well, we just messed up their ceremony. We're jerks.
Are they worshiping them?
A lot of questions, Paimon. Holy crap, what the hell's going on?
Whoa.
Big Daddy Hilly Churro.
Yeah. That's the Hilly Churro on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, the Sword of Brilliant Valor.
Are you sure? Looks kind of basic to my eye, and a little worse for wear.
Call that sort of basic bitch.
Why would hilly trolls be bowing down before a piece of junk like this?
Good question.
Seems somebody tossed an old sword into a pile of spoils these hilly trolls were already celebrating.
This is in terrible shape, and it's so basic, I'm at a loss for words.
Your family's never going to be impressed with you.
Say, Jack, have you ever seen an Animo crystal fly? They're found in the open country around Mondstadt City. If you saw one in broad daylight, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. But in the pitch blackness of night, its brilliant glow is mesmerizing. It truly resembles an exquisite crystal dancing in the night air. Is valor not the same? When everything is going your way, it seems meaningless, fades into the background. But when you're in dire straits, valor is the thing that gets you fired up and fighting back. It's the brilliant ray of light that guides you out from the darkness.
You're right. You're right. Then this has to be it. This is the Sword of Brilliant Valor.
What a salesman Venti is.
So, now we just need that sheet.
Sure it is. If you believe it is.
It's definitely in Dada Upa Gorge. Huh?
There's somebody there.
Yep. He's the...
Stanley? What's he doing here?
He's acting so weird.
The voice in his head is talking to him.
What happened?
Yep.
Why did you stop all of a
Thank you.
sudden?
You didn't see your buddy Stanley?
Oh, it's nothing. Just one of those Mora spouting weasel thieves passed by is all.
What? Where? I want to see.
I see a more spitting weasel?
Maybe another time. We have a shield to find, remember? Lo and behold, the shield of magnificent honor.
And it looks like it.
Why are your pants on fire? It's a chunk of wood.
You tell him, Paimon.
Wood with the handle attached. Who in their right mind would use this as a shield?
There's also wine stains on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was just taken from a wine barrel.
And yet,
the top of a wine barrel,
my
nice.
intuition tells me that this is none other than the Shield of Magnificent Honor. Warriors wear their battle scars with pride, and shields are no different.
Where's wine stains
Surely
with
an
pride?
intact shield is one that has shied away from the battlefield. Is not the broken and splintered shield the one that has fought in countless wars and lived to tell the tale? Though the soldier's body be tired and torn, still they fight till the very end, till they have no blood left to bleed. Such magnificent strength of will. Is that not the true meaning of honor?
I agree with Venti. I agree this is the shield.
You do have a point. Shiny new shields don't stay new and shiny for long.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, maybe if we ask nicely, he'll just let us take the Shield of Magnificent Honor for free.
Sure. Sure, Paimon. That's exactly what happened.
Excuse me, Mr. Hilly Churl? Well, okay, you take it from here. Hope you've picked up some Hilly Churlian by now. If not, there's always body language.
Most you need to.
Seems cheerful enough. Maybe negotiating will work after all.
Oh no. What's with the little squirrel hanging out back there?
Seem to appreciate that.
Venti sings song, you give shield, okay?
Well, if you insist, a tune I shall strum.
Alright. Friendship strengthened. Like the squirrel's just back there. I was like, what's going on? I want to see what happens.
Maybe.
You guys should fight.
Oh, yeah, he actually gave us the shield.
Well done, without fighting.
Guys, thank you so much. I can't believe I actually found them. Mom, Dad, check out the legendary weapons I found.
Aww.
Hey, wait! The wine, you promised! And I actually helped a lot this time. What are you doing here, Stanley? Out for a stroll?
Stanley.
Hey, what are you doing here, Bard? Fancy that, huh? You, out for a stroll too?
You're a weird dude.
That's right. An after-dinner stroll, to be precise. We were also helping a friend look for something.
I'm starting to think Stanley might be a fraud.
Yeah.
Did Stanley plant the sword and shield here in advance so as to not hurt Jack's feelings?
Adventurers must be pretty familiar with Dada Upa Gorge. You fought battles here before, after all.
You better believe it. I can navigate this whole area with my eyes closed.
Wow. Then I admire your perseverance. And your memory, too.
It's only to be expected of a great adventurer like me. You guys had better watch out, though. This place is crawling with hilichurls.
Do you even have weapons to defend yourself, Raiden?
I'll get back to my, stroll now. Goodbye.
Weird dude.
Guilty conscience much?
Well, he shouldn't have gotten so carried away bragging to Jack, should he? Although, on further reflection, I must say I'm intrigued. Someone who can't let go of the past and gives up on the present instead. I wonder, if such a person was forced to take their first step towards the future, which way would they go?
It's starting to sound like Albedo with some experiments.
I'm just musing to myself. Anyway, I propose we take a trip to Angel's Share tonight.
Tell me, Stan. Tell me, what should I do?
does he keep repeating his own name?
He's talking to the voice in his head.
Surely not. Even I've never heard tell of a second Stanley.
Oh, Stanley. It should have been me. I should have been the one to die in the Meljabari that day. Why won't your spirit come and stop me from using your name? Why? Why?
It was his friend that's by him.
If only you hadn't had to save a rookie like me, you would have never died in that windless corner of the world. You were a renowned adventurer, destined to become a legend one day. But now, that'll never happen, because your life was cut short, and all because of a worthless tag-along.
No, he's suffering from imposter syndrome.
Does anyone get what's going on here?
I think our friend really did make it to the Meljabari. And I think the tragedy he encountered there was real too. But the real adventurer, the real Stanley, that was his partner, not him. The real Stanley is the one who died to save our Stanley.
Now he must go on as Stanley.
Wait, so the only
Like the Dread Pirate
reason
Roberts.
our Stanley is called Stanley in the first place is because he stole the other Stanley's name?
Yeah.
I fear that may be the case.
Stanley, for so many years I've lived in fear. Fear that Mondstadt will forget all about you. So I tell you adventure stories at every opportunity.
There it is.
Mondstadt must remember. Stanley reached the center of the Meljabari.
Good thing this guy talks to himself.
He's the greatest adventurer there ever was, and he lives on. Stanley will never die, because I am Stanley. I'm sorry, Stanley. I'm getting too old. Now.
I'm Tyler Durden.
Are you guys planning on eavesdropping much longer?
Yikes! We're busted!
Go away. Save your questions. Just leave me in peace.
But...
Leave now. Don't make me tell you again.
Honorary Knight, Venti, and Paimon. I'm so glad you guys are here. I've been looking for you everywhere. I wanted to thank you again for helping me find the sword and shield. My parents are finally supporting me.
Good for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. They even said they're gonna pay for someone to fix up the Sword of Brilliant Valor and Shield of Magnificent Honor for me, so I can take them out on the road.
Just get new weapons.
That's wonderful! So, Jack, is this the part where you bid farewell to Mondstadt and set off on your intrepid trip traversing Teyvat?
No, not
Intrepid
yet.
trip, traversing Teyvat.
I still don't have what it takes to go too far from home just yet. Besides, I'm sure Stanley still has a few stories left to tell. They're what inspired me to become an adventurer in the first place. Stanley, Oh, you're drunk again.
Because this
See you
happens a
tomorrow,
lot.
then. After your hangover wears off, maybe you can tell me some more of your stories?
Stanley's really fond of that kid, don't you think?
Jack. Jack.
Jack left.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you for not telling him about my secret.
Huh? All of a sudden you're facing the facts? That isn't like you.
Just now, I couldn't bear to look at him. His adventurous spirit is so pure, unblemished. Just a weary old feckless fraud. But that kid is a brand new shining star, full of potential. I cannot allow his dreams to be crushed.
You're not a total fraud. Stanley's adventure stories and experiences. They're all true, aren't they?
Stories? Experiences? What's the point of them anymore?
Oh, it's gone to the dark
To be
place.
honest, my memories of adventuring and of Stanley, they're hazy these days.
Drinking probably doesn't help.
That's my biggest secret of all, and my biggest fear. All these years, I've been living to tell his story. But his personality and the details of his life, I don't remember them clearly anymore. But the one thing I can never forget is that he died in a windless land, where his spirit can never be recovered.
We'll go there. We'll recover his spirit. You got wind?
We'll bring like a little jar
Yeah.
and just scoop it up.
Even in his memory, the real Stanley isn't the living, breathing friend he knew at all. Instead, he's become fixed on the image of him as that battle-scarred warrior. And that image has held him captive his entire life.
I'm too old. I never let go. But still, so much has
Dude,
slipped
how old are
away.
you? Like, what, in your 30s?
I'm completely and utterly worthless. No adventurer should have to go that way. No adventurer ever.
Hans Archibald.
That's his real
My
name?
true name?
Yeah.
How did you know?
Oh my god, bitch.
The wind. I can hear the wind blowing in the Mare Javari.
Oh.
I always believed you existed.
Will you hand me your old friend's spirit?
I can't believe it. Thank you all. And thank you, Lord Barbados. I'm sorry. It's gonna take me some time to calm back down.
Yeah, you've seen a lot right now.
Yeah.
But I think that I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Ah, wonderful! Stanley reconnected with his true self and Jack can finally go his own way.
Good job, Venti.
This calls for a celebration. And by celebration, I do, of course, mean libation.
Yes!
Of course you do.
And by
Venti loves the party.
libation, you mean you're not leaving this tavern till you're too drunk to walk, right?
That is his plan.
He's a proper bard!
The wine here's too expensive. Jack still owes me some wine, though.
Yep.
He promised me a rare vintage in exchange for helping him out, remember?
And if he breaks that contract, you can go to Zhongli.
See you shortly. Let's meet at the usual place.
I'll give him a fitting punishment.
Huh? Where's that supposed to be? Why has Paimon never heard of it? Hey, Tone Deaf Bard!
Tone Deaf Bard.
Oh, hey!
Oh, foot stomp.
Hands in the hips.
You should divert your.
Oh, let's say right into the statue, just face first. Cool.
You made it.
This is like a safe place to get drunk.
Just tell us where you meet next time, okay? We looked everywhere. did you at least manage to find your wine?
Yep. Well, sort of. Jack made it out to be a rare collector's edition vintage. When actually it's just a half bottle of regular cider.
Kind of like how you made out the sword and the shield to be
This takes me back.
these awesome things.
The first time I saw this view, I hadn't even taken on this form yet. It was about 2,600 years ago, before the world had come under the rule of the Seven. At that time, Old Mondstadt was ruled by a tyrant who sealed off the city's perimeter with a ferocious hurricane. Even the birds couldn't get in or out.
Old Mondstadt? Oh, Paimon remembers! Nowadays it's known as Storm Terror's lair, right? You mentioned it before.
That's right. The Tyrant of the Winds who once ruled from that tower was Decarabian, god of storms. Back then, I was but a wisp among the thousand winds. I wasn't a god of anything. I didn't even have a human form. I was just a tiny elemental being who lived in the wind, a gentle breeze bringing subtle changes for the better, or tiny seeds of hope.
Now look at you.
A tiny elemental being? Without a human form? Venti, do you mean you used to look different than you do now?
Yep. My current form is not so different from the situation with fake Stanley. I took the form of a friend. In Old Mondstadt transpired the story to be told. Where a tyrant ruled, I met a boy not that old. The lyre he played, and for a song he sought.
A real bard.
Storm walls blocked blue sky. He was sincerely distraught. I do so wish to see the birds in flight, said he, his strong eyes filling with light. But his voice was lost in the howling wind's churn, for the whirlwind takes and gives not in return. The true sky and songs that cageless soar, were they not wishes worth fighting for? So the boy turned, extending his hand. Let us cast down the tyrant and his walls from this land. The young boy raised then the flag of revolt, and I threw myself into freedom's tumult. Victorious were we who fought to be free. Gods fell, winds whipped, nations shook violently. In the smoke, a despot met his doom. And we watched as his great tower fell none too soon. Mondstadt began anew, the story passed down, and since then never has another worn its crown.
So then what? What happened to your friend?
Same situation as with Stanley's friend.
Say, Paimon, do you wish to hear the next part of the story?
Of course she does.
Yes, of course. The suspense is killing Paimon.
Go get some wine.
Now's the time you suddenly get a craving for apples? Really?
Getting a little peckish or something.
Paimon's had it up to here with you.
Uh-oh.
You know, you're so smart it almost makes me uncomfortable sometimes. But then, maybe it's right that true friends can tell what the other is thinking.
Aw, Venti.
Refreshing drink, a gentle breeze.
Think we're friends?
Moments like this always take me back. Back to a song that I first heard from him. Fly, fly away. Like a bird in the sky. See the world on my behalf. To the heavens may you fly.
I didn't like it as much as Zhongli's story quest that we saw, but I will say the last, like, 10 minutes of this or whatever, I thought was quite enjoyable. Like, I mean, like the build up to it, I'm not getting like super into it, super invested. Just like, cause, at least with like, with Zhongli, I kind of like Zhongli more than I like Venti to begin with. And then, we had, Dickbag Fatui guy that we had, could clown on and just like got a blood boiling. And yeah, like the architect and like the interesting, like, her shift and like what was, she wasn't really like an architect and like, or archaeologist, I mean. I'm thinking fake architect, Mandalay Industries. So overall, like Zhongli's story quest, but like that moment where Venti made himself like, appear as the Lord of Wind or whatever, the God of Wind, the animal god, that was really powerful. And like, it's like, okay, the payoff of everything I thought was great, but like the lead up into it wasn't as enjoyable.
Yeah, I was going to say something very similar, that I hadn't been as sucked into the story as we were going through it, but it wrapped it up well enough that like in hindsight, I'm like, oh, that was enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the moment, I was like, this is okay. Like, I mean, it's not bad, but it just wasn't. So I did like, it's funny to see where it ended and then think back to it kind of started with seeing people's invisible friends.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that was a journey to get from there to here. Which is well done on them for that storytelling element, because to start with something so sweet and so innocent, like kids' imaginary friends, and we're gonna go take a look at them, and then like to end here where it's, oh, my friend died and I took his form and he told me to go, fly amongst the heavens, and it's like, whoa, where did we? That was a leap. But they told it well. The Stanley character was really interesting. And yeah, I, as a character, like Zhongli a little bit better than Venti, but I'm really glad we saw this because I have a much deeper appreciation for Venti now, having seen his story.
That's just it. Like, I felt like I got more appreciation and a deeper understanding of Venti through his story quest than I did for Zhongli's. Like, Zhongli's just kind of confirmed everything I already thought about the dude. And so it wasn't like, oh, I got a little bit more insight into his character. I mean, it was cool, like him passing the different judgments on the different punishments on the two people. With Venti's though, to have the whole Stanley story, like if it was just the Stanley storyline, I've been like, okay, that was, again, it was like, it ended well, at least that was all right. I thought it was going to end there, but then to tie it into the fact of like, Venti was like, okay, this is why he wanted to help him out, because he was Stanley. It's also cool because Stanley is just a person, and Venti again is whatever, the God of Wind, Lord Barbados, but yet is still able to relate to just a mere mortal or whatever. Yeah, man, gods have it just like us, man. Gods are just like us.
Well, I mean, in the ancient times, they kind of were, right? Like, that was the whole point. That's why people studied the gods and told fascinating stories about them, was because that was how people were supposed to learn what to do, what not to do, morals, how to behave, not behave. Like, gods made great storytelling, and people didn't have iPhones and PS5s and all the modern stuff that we did. So that was the point of it all, is they're fallible and screw things up just like we do.
I did like the illustration that they added with Venti's story when he told about his past, and I kind of wish that, like, I hope that they like incorporate that more into a different quest. Like when people started talking about their backstory or like going into a story, like they add that in there, because I thought that was it was just it was a nice touch, and yeah, overall gave me a deeper appreciation, as we said, for Venti. So it accomplished its mission.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you want early ad-free access to our Genshin Impact reaction, get weekly reactions, check out the link for Patreon down below in the description of this video. There's also a join button as well. You can see it here on YouTube. Up next, we're going to check out Child's story quest. So yeah, get some more information on this Fatui, this Harbinger. Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Genshin Impact Venti story quest, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.